What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about some stocks that have been doing rather well lately. They're beating the market currently, and these stocks do have the potential to explode, as a lot of stocks that I talk about on this channel do. Okay, we like to break down those stocks and talk about what the opportunities are with them, but also the risks. So we're going to be talking about a lot in this video. We're going to be talking about SDC stock, Fami stock, and Prog stock. So let's take a look at the charts. First of all, I wanted to show you guys the chart for SPY, which is the chart of the market overall. You can see that we're down about 0.8% today, and we have been experiencing a lot of volatility lately, especially if you look at this yearly chart. You can really get a picture painted for you of how tough this market has been over the past couple of weeks. We've just been dropping and dropping, and there have been some rebounds, but that hasn't stopped us from moving down in an overall direction and making new lows a lot of these days. So it's a very scary time to be in the markets for a lot of investors, especially when you're dealing with more risky stocks like SDC, Smile Direct Club, Fami stock, FAMI, and PROG stock, Progeny Inc. So these stocks are typically considered to be more risky than the overall market, and there is reason for that, right? There's smaller market caps. They're not as well established as a lot of the big businesses and blue chip stocks that are typically included in the SPY. However, oftentimes they can outperform the markets, especially at key times, right? When there is a lot of market volatility going on and people are looking for new ways to make money, right? If they've just been riding up this wave of the market for the past couple of months, and they start seeing the market beginning to tank, then they might be looking for other opportunities that could be presenting themselves in the form of short squeezes, momentum plays, options plays. So we're going to be talking about SDC, Smile Direct Club stock first. This stock has been getting a ton of attention on Reddit and Wall Street Bets over the past couple of weeks. And if you actually look at apewisdom.io, this is a site that tracks the top stocks on Reddit and Wall Street Bets, you will see that Smile Direct Club, SDC, is the #1 mentioned and talked about stock on Reddit. It's up 142% mention-wise in the past 24 hours. A lot of people are talking about this stock and its pump potential, and that is obviously having effect on the stock price, right? We are up 4.6% on the day. We've just been shooting up. We have been brushing up against the $6.20 resistance level. Now, fortunately for this stock, right, we have seen a lot of volatility with it. We have been moving up. If you look back in the further past, we have been moving up in an overall direction over the past about a month. However, we were seeing a little bit of bearish activity going on over the past week or so. We ended up actually bouncing off of this $5 support level that we had formed a while back when we had first seen this massive drop. We bounced off of 5, and that was again confirmed as a strong support level today. You can see we bounced off of it just a couple of days ago and have been continuing on an uptrend ever since. So it's actually very bullish that we're seeing that. And if you look back about 10 days ago, let's look at that chart. Maybe even 30 days ago, you can see that $6.20 was at one point acting as a key support level for this stock. However, we ended up breaking through, and now it is acting as a bit more of a resistance. You can see these very tall wicks, and we've been getting shot down past $6.20. Now, I think it is incredibly possible that we will be breaking through this, especially considering the fact that we're forming this kind of triangular wedge pattern. I think that hopefully we'll be breaking up out of the $6.20 level, making new highs for the day, moving in an upwards direction. It's very possible we're already up on the day, and that's very impressive on a day when the markets are down. Now, I do want to point out that Smile Direct Club is one of the top-ranking stocks on StockTwits as well, so it's not just Reddit and Wall Street Bets. It's number 8 on StockTwits, so not the highest, right? There are a lot of stocks like CEI and Shiba Inu coin, which are really, pumping up, or rather being dropped down a lot today, depending on what you're talking about. And Smile Direct Club isn't quite as volatile as those, so obviously they're getting a little bit more attention on StockTwits. However, on Reddit, it is still the #1 talked about stock, and it has been for a while, and that's really been adding to the buying pressure. I really think that this is a Reddit fuel pump. I think that mostly the people buying this up are on Reddit, and they're responsible for most of the momentum on this stock. Now, there are a couple of reasons why this stock could be moving up, especially if you look at the options activity. You can see there are a lot of open interest call options for all of these strike prices. And what I like to see are these very closely placed together strike prices. $6, $6.50, $7, $7.50. It's always very nice to see the 50-cent increments on these strike prices, because that allows for more people to get in on specific price points that they prefer, and actually, in my opinion, tends to lead to more open interest call options being generated, which has the potential to create more of a gamma squeeze. It also gives more levels that you can watch to see if we're breaking past, say, 650. Then you look at the open interest call options for 650, and you see, okay, there are 8,000. And so maybe you would see a little bit of a boost past 650 because institutions who are selling those options would have to start covering their position, right? They would have to start buying up shares of the stock to cover the call options that they have sold on the stock, just in case it ends up expiring in the money. But if you look then at $7, which has 21,000 open interest call options, that would create much more buying pressure, and you could expect a much bigger move if we were able to blast through $7, because a lot more shares would have to be purchased by those institutions to cover 21,000 open interest call options. So it's very nice to see that they have all of these price points, and they can kind of feed into each other, right? If you see a little bit of a boost when this stock starts moving past, say, 650, right, when those call options start becoming in the money, then that might actually help propel you to $7, which could then, start boosting the stock even more. So I really like to see a lot of these strike prices, especially ones that are in the money, becoming deeper in the money, right? I like seeing the stock price move up on SDC. So that's what we have on SDC. I think that this is potentially a good one, especially seeing that we're bouncing off of $5 in a very strong way, especially if we can break through the $620 level today. I would really like to see that. I would be kind of disappointed if we ended up getting bounced off and rejected from that, right? Because that could be a bearish pattern. That could be a bearish indication if we do end up bouncing off our old support level and start making our way closer towards $5. I would be wary of the stock, right? But if we are able to break through 620, then I think that's a very good sign. Now, with Fami stock, or Fami as some people call it, this stock has had some great news in the past. You see, we pumped up a ton. We were up about 50% one day because of some news that came out for this stock, where the CEO basically issued a letter talking about an acquisition that this company was making into a more forestry-based business, an expansion of their business model into health and wellness, and a new community group purchasing distribution network, basically just improving their supply chain capabilities. So this is actually a fundamental play. A lot has changed for this stock over the past 90 days. If you look, you can see that it was trading in this above about a 40-cent range for the most part, and then it ended up dropping massively. I believe it was a stock offering that did this. And since then, the CEO has released this letter. They have been expanding their business model. They've been using the capital that they've accrued from the direct offerings that they've done in the past to actually improve the company, and that has been reflected in the stock price. Obviously, it was reflected very strongly and has since taken a cooling off period. But if you look today, we are still holding at the 30-cent level, which is probably a key level for the stock. I think that if we started dropping below that, I'd be losing a bit of my conviction in it, because that is where we had pumped up to previously, back when they were just talking about some new trade agreements that they had formed with Israel, right? They were going to be the main supplier for shiitake mushrooms for some Israeli companies. And that ended up pumping them up to almost 30 cents, where they got rejected from. They bounced back down to the low 20s. And since then, the CEO released his letter, and that has bumped us up to above 50 cents. So I do think that there is a lot of potential with this stock. I'm still very excited about it. I personally, just for full disclosure purposes, I do hold some of this stock in my long-term account. I did a little swing trade with it, made a little bit of money on that in a short-term account, but I am still holding shares in my long-term. So I do expect that this stock will continue moving up on the good news, the good fundamental news that's come out for them. I think that, a lot of this has been actually due to shorting, right? I think that that's mainly why they've been falling lately. If you look over the past couple of days, you can look at the short interest for Fami stock, and you can see just the dramatic increase that we've experienced over the past couple of days, ever since their massive pump up. If you look right here, obviously a ton of people shorted this thing. A lot of institutions were shorting it because, it is sometimes an opportunity, right? When you see a stock pumping up, more than doubling, right? It went from around 20 cents to 50 cents. That is an opportunity. Obviously, some of the shorts were able to make some money, at least in the short term, right? Especially if they cover now, they would be making some money if they were shorting at 50 and then covering at, in the 30s. They have made some money right now if they cover, I think. But I do expect this stock to continue moving up, especially after seeing it bounce off of the 30-cent level in such a strong way multiple times. And this is a level that has proven itself again and again, right? It was acting as resistance in the past, and now we've had two bounces off of it. My hope is that we will continue moving in an upwards direction throughout the course of the day. Hopefully, we will start to break these previous support levels that we've had, right? They'll likely act as resistance. I expect 37 and 40 cents to act as slight resistance levels because they were acting as support for us in the past. So we'll have to watch those pretty carefully, but I am bullish on Fami over the long term because it is, once again, fundamental news that came out for the stock. Now, PROG stock is one that a lot of people have been interested in. It has experienced a pretty significant rise, right? It was down to 86 cents just a couple of days ago, and has since gotten to $2.45 before getting shot down. Unfortunately, for a lot of investors, it saw a massive dip this day because they announced that there was going to be a direct stock offering. Now, that's not as bearish as it seems for the stock, right? That really succeeded in getting a lot of volatility and volume for the stock and pushing it down. However, that likely wasn't the company's intent, right? They actually want their own stock to be moving up higher. They do want the additional capital from the direct stock offering. But what's important to note about the direct stock offering, right, is that it is only for institutions, right? They're not offering these shares to the public. They are offering these shares to institutions. And that's why it's a direct stock offering instead of a public stock offering, okay? So it's not like they're just going to be dumping all of these shares on the market. Obviously, the institutions could then decide to dump the shares that they've recently acquired on the market. But the acquisition of those shares is actually expected to complete around, on, or about October 6th, which is today. So today is the day that, that acquisition should be completed by. So we'll have to see what happens with the stock price. Right now, it looks like it's moving up. We're about 8% in the green today. So it's actually looking like those institutions are getting a pretty sweet deal on this stock, considering that we're moving upwards, right? They bought them for $1.50, I believe, was the price that it was agreed on. Yeah, $1.50 per share. And, those institutions probably want to be making some money on this. So you can see we're getting close to $1.50. We did bounce off of that earlier today. Likely, I think that since institutions were the ones purchasing these, institutions like to make money, and they'll probably be doing a good job of trying to move this stock up. So I am somewhat hopeful for this stock, right? Obviously, we saw a lot of bearish pressure on the day that the direct offering was announced because it's never great to see dilution with a company like this. Ideally, you would be seeing share buybacks, right? But with a company that's growing, it's completely understandable that they want to gain some additional capital, similar to what Fami did, right? When they actually did their offering, they did an offering and acquired capital, and then were able to acquire a new company and expand their business model and improve their supply chain. So it is oftentimes bullish for the stock overall when you see these offerings, especially if the company is being responsible with it, right? If they're not just willy-nilly diluting the stock. So it sometimes can be a good thing over the long term to acquire additional capital and expand additional growth opportunities. So that's what I have on Prog, although I will take a quick look at the options. And once again, you can see there are very closely priced together strike prices, right? $1.50, $2, $2.50. So once again, you see a ton of open interest call options, and these are rather significant for this stock, right? 21,000 open interest calls at the $1.50 level, 27,000 at the $2 level, 15,000 at the $2.50 level. So this stock really could be running up quite a bit, especially, if institutions, the ones that were buying up these shares from the direct offering, are helpful, right? Rather than just trying to sell their shares for a quick profit. If they're actually helpful and want this stock to continue moving up and to have some big gains on it, which there is the potential for, right? We have been moving up. We haven't made very low lows yet, right? We've only been hitting about $1.30. Now, there is a bear case to be made, right? If you look at the open interest call options, you see there are 33,000 for the October 15th strike date at $1. So if we were able to break below $1, then a lot of the institutions that are then holding shares so that they can sell those call options would be out of the money, right? They would be out of the money, and they would then be able to sell those shares and not worry about the collateral, right? Because we'd be trading below $1, and it would be less likely that we would then expire above $1, and they wouldn't have to worry about having collateral for those call options that they've sold. So it's very possible, that if this thing does start tanking below $1, that will continue tanking. However, I do like seeing that we have bounced off the $1.30 level, and we're looking supposedly to be moving in an upwards direction. That is very bullish in my opinion. So that's what I have for you guys today on these stocks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, guys, have a great day. And there is one last thing, actually. If you guys are interested in getting some free stocks, you can go to the description of any one of my videos, get your free stocks on Webull, valued up to $2,300. All you have to do is click the link. You get 2 free stocks today. All you have to do is get free stocks and make an account, and they'll send you your free stocks. So that's what you have to do if you want some free stocks. Other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.